Hello everyone, I am Joanna K. Villar, and in behalf of my group mates, I will first discuss to you about the concept learning or what is concept learning. But it seems that concept learning is just part of a constructivism. We will first discuss what is constructivism. So, constructivism, it is a theory on how humans generate knowledge and meaning from an interaction between their experiences and their ideas. So, constructivism, it focuses on how the humans generate knowledge and meaning from an interaction from their interaction from others and between their experiences or what are their what there are experiences in life. Then it is based on observation and scientific study about how people learn. So it is an observation and the same time scientific study that talks about how people learn. Then third, it says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge or the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. So constructivism, it says that an individual construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world or through experiencing. So we need experience things or that particular something so that we can learn. Or then it encourages learners to use active techniques such as, so there are active techniques used by the learners in constructivism. First, experiments. So as you have noticed, there are classes that they have their experiments during class. So then second, real world problem solving to create their own knowledge. So real world problem solving is very helpful too to construct knowledge. Then reflect, or the third one is reflect on and talk about what they are experiencing and how it changes their previous understanding. So enable for someone or somebody to learn. So he needs or she needs to experience that particular something so that he can learn. Then, there are two views towards constructivism. What are those? First, individual constructivism. This view is also known as cognitive construction. It gives emphasis on an individual's internal construction of knowledge. So, individual constructivism, it focuses on internal knowledge of somebody, or it focuses on their internal, or there is an internalization of knowledge, then or internal construction of knowledge. Then second, social constructivism. So this view gives emphasis at knowledge exists in a social context and is initially shared with others instead of being represented solely in the mind of an individual. So social construction, on the other hand, is it focuses on the socialization or social context. There are social communication, or there are interactions between students uh, or students with the teachers, etc. Then there are four characteristics that these two have in common. So social and individual constructivism, there um, there are characteristics that they have in common. What are these? So first, learners construct understanding. So learners are active thinkers who make their own interpretation of the information based on what they already know. So learners are active thinkers, or humans are active thinkers. So they are they can interpret things or something based on what they have already know, so or what they have already know in their previous uh, life or experiences. Then Second, new learning depends on current understanding. So, it is through the present views of learners in schema that the learner has that new information will be interpreted. So, as always, new learning depends on current understanding. So, if there is no current understanding, there is no new learning. Then third, learning is facilitated by social interaction. So learners are given more opportunities to cooperate and collaborate to problem solving and discover things. So learning is facilitated by social interaction. So um, interaction between students and teachers are very important because to it can help some students or the learners to learn or discover new things. Then, fourth, meaningful learning occurs within authentic learning tasks. Authentic tasks requires the learners to be involved in a learning activity that involves knowledge construction and understanding that is at part to the knowledge and understanding that is needed when applied in real world. So that's it. Then we are here now in concepts. So what is concepts? So there are uh, four concepts or so first, concepts as featureless. Learning a concept involves specific features that are characterized by positive instances of the concept. So concept as featureless is involves specific features. So concepts, there are specific features of a concept or they have unique characteristics. Then there are two uh, kind of feature. It is the defining feature and the correlation feature. Defining feature is a characteristic that is present to all instances. So this defining feature is um, present to all instances or circumstances in our life or in our life situation, life experiences. Then how we um, characterize those or how we interpret those experiences we have experienced. Then second, correlation feature, on the other hand, is one that is present in many positive instances, but not essential for concept membership. So correlation feature, on another hand, is present in many positive instances. So correlation is always present or in positive instances. Set Second, concepts as prototypes. Prototypes ideas or visual images of a typical example. Prototypes are formed and based on the positive instances that a learner encounters most often. So this concept is focuses on the positive instances that learner encounters most often. So uh, di na laging na experience or those concepts na or experiences na di laging nangyayari or those experiences na minsan lang nangyayari sa buhay ng isang tao. Then, third, concepts as exemplars. These concepts represent various examples. This allows the learners to know that an example under a concept may have variability. So this concept is talk about giving more examples about that particular concept or represent various examples so that the learner can get or can understand what they are going to do, no? Then we are here in now. The following are the ways on how you can help your students to learn. So there are following things you need to consider so that your learners or our learners uh, will learn concepts. First, providing clear concept definitions. So as a teacher, we need to provide clear concept definitions. So we need to define clearly what that particular concept. Then second, make defining features concrete and prominent. Uh, it is essential so that the features, defining features are concrete or understandable. Then concrete or there are examples. Then third, provide various positive instances. So you will also need to provide various positive instances. Then in the same time, you will also need to cite negative instances too. So, so that there are balance. Then cite a best example or prototype. Then provide your learners with various opportunities to identify positive and negative instances. So as a teacher, we need to provide positive and negative. We need to provide our learners with various opportunities. So that in identifying positive and negative instances. So we need it's important that we give them opportunity to share their ideas, their thoughts about that something or that concept we have given. Then encourage your learners to think of their own example of concept. So it is also important that we will encourage our learners to think of their own example, or we allow them to give their own example. Then last, point out how concepts are related to each other. So as a teacher, we need to point out so how the concepts are related to each other, or what are their um, differences, similarities, and so on. Then schemas and scripts. So schemas, it refers to an organized body of knowledge about something. It is like a file of information you hold in your mind about something. So it refers to organized body of knowledge. So it is a knowledge in our mind or in the mind of an individual that they have. Then scripts. It is a schema that includes a series of predictable events about a specific activity. So scripts is already a schema that includes a series of predictable events or and predictable events that have in our mind or in the mind of learners. Then your role as a teacher is to bring learners to construct their own knowledge such that they have a well-organized set of concepts. Aim to make clear those concepts that are still vague for them and pave the way for them to overcome misconceptions. It is important that you acquire skills on how to facilitate concept formation and development. So, as a teacher or future educator, it is important that we have knowledge to construct uh, or we are familiar with construction of knowledge, or so that the students can learn or can understand or what those about those things, or they can understand that something. Then constructivism can be an excellent guide for you. So constructivism is very helpful. Then applying constructivism and facilitating learning. So first, aim to make learners understand a few key ideas in an in-depth manner, rather than taking up so many topics of superficially. So just focus on keywords, or then give varied examples. Then so this is also important that we give varied examples or many examples about that concept we have given to them, so that they can learn the concept you have given deeply, or they can share their ideas more, or yeah, that's it. Then provide opportunities for experimentation. So as a teacher, you need to provide opportunities for your students to experiment, or during class, uh, you can have your experiment. Uh, then provide less of opportunities for quality interaction. So it is also important that we need time to interact with each other, or give our students time to interact with their classmates or peer groups, etc. Then have lots of hands-on activities. So it is very important that hands-on uh, it is very important uh, to have an hands-on activities. Then relate your topic to real life situations. So it is essential that our topic we will relate it on real life situations, so that the learners or the students can imagine what you have talking about. That's it. Then do not depend on the explanation method all the time. So don't depend on explanation all the time. You need, because explanation can make your sometimes it can make your uh, class boring. Then I think that's all. Thank you and God bless.